Thank you so much, Dr. Sibley. I would like to invite all of the panelists to come forward, and as they come forward, I'm going to click over and we are going to hear from our first panelist who could not be here, AHRQ. We have Dr. Colin Sharp and Dr. Wadhwani from AHRQ. Are you there?
Yes, we are. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, excellent.
Wonderful.
So
are the slides up?
I'm getting there.
All right. Well, then, while you're doing that, I'll just go ahead and say good morning to everyone. I certainly wish I could be there in your nice warm weather instead of looking out at 18 inches of snow and having some sore muscles from some shoveling activity, but I'm pleased we could get together this way. I am Beth Collins Sharp. I'm Senior Advisor for Women's Health and Gender Research as well as Senior Advisor for Nursing at AHRQ. And along with me is my colleague, Dr. Kish Wadhwani, who is Director of our Division of Scientific Review at AHRQ. And you may remember both of us from last year's panel. I don't see the slides. Are they up for you?
They are.
Okay, wonderful. So let's go to the second slide, which has AHRQ's mission on it. And AHRQ has a new director as of the fall, and we have a new mission and some priority areas. So our mission will sound from, not unlike what we've had before and what we've done before, to produce evidence to make healthcare safer, higher quality, more accessible, equitable, and affordable, and to work with the U.S. Department of HHS and other partners to make sure that the evidence is understood and used. So we continue to do the same sorts of research in health services research that is patient-centered and not disease-focused. We focus on daily practice and not ideal situations, lab situations, in other words, not efficacy, but rather effectiveness. And that we continue to work on the production and the use and implementation of our evidence-based information. Our priority areas, we used to have portfolios, and they're gradually being transitioned into these priority areas that are listed here. And these are on our website as well, that you can look at some specific descriptions about each of these 4 areas. As well, we're organizing everything around these priority areas, and there are RFAs or other requests already posted or coming related to these priority areas. So I encourage you to go and look at those and read about those priority areas. On the next slide, you'll see our website, which looks very much as it did last year, at least down this page. So what you're going to want to do is go to that bar at the top, go to the purple, where it's already purple funding and grants. And then if you'll click again, you'll see that we do have an area around contracts, which we are not going to talk about today. And then click again, you'll see where you would click to go for training and education funding. And then finally another click, and you'll see how you can get to all of the funding opportunity announcements. So that one is thicker because I think that you'll be going there the most. On the next slide, you'll see that our funding strategy, and this one actually refers to the training opportunities, that we are strategically looking to fund work on all levels, new to experienced researchers, mid-level, growing capacity, and doctoral students at the dissertation phase. For those of you who've heard me speak before, you know I always like to emphasize the dissertation grants because we're really the only agency that has those, and they can be very helpful. Now, when you go to that training site, you'll see a number of grant opportunities. In the name of time, I have hidden several slides, and I won't talk about those today, but I have put them all together on a PDF file, which I've already sent it, and SNRS is welcome to put it on our on your website with the other conference materials. So a hidden slide here talks about the specific training opportunities, which is the same information that's on the website, but for easy access, it is on a separate slide. So the next slide is slide 6 are Peace Corps grant opportunities. And one of the ones that I like to point out is the K99 ROO, which someone else may talk about, the kangaroo grants. Those are nice grants because it's a two-part grant intended for postdoc fellows and junior non-tenure track faculty seeking patient-centered outcomes research support and training as they transition into a tenure track position. Doctoral students, or postdocs who have kangaroo grants are very attractive to schools of nursing because they come with funding. So in the hidden slides, we have a description of both of those, the K99 and the R24. For the R24, I need to point out to you that you need to send a letter of intent if you're interested to AHRQ by July 30th. December 2014 is the last submission date for this funding mechanism. So if you're interested in an R24, you need to get hopping and get that letter of intent in. All right, let's go to the next slide, and I believe that's number 9 in short. Our funding priorities are changing to reflect our new agency priorities, but in addition to those changes associated with that, we still have stability in our funding. So it's still a good place to go for funding if it matches up. As I've said before, the internet is your gateway. When you're applying for these, AHRQ and NIH essentially use the same application process. If you go to the next slide, you can see that we publish all of our announcements in the NIH guide. We use the same application forms, use the same submission portal, and once they are submitted to what appears to be AHRQ, or to NIH, they are, or through the NIH portal, I should say, then they are sent over to AHRQ, and then we do our own review process with our own project officers and review panels. Those review panels, the most common question about those are on the next slide, which is how do we determine how we make our awards. Something that I'd be willing to bet on is that you're going to hear about how important scientific merit is to making decisions about awards. The significance and originality and the strength of the methods are just critical, and that is the first order of business in terms of deciding whether to fund any one application. After that, shortly after that, we also consider what is uniquely fits in with AHRQ's priorities, which should come to AHRQ versus some other agency. And the best way to find that out up front is to read the priorities and to talk with a program officer. And you can send your specific aims to a program officer, and they will tell you if it's a good fit and give you some technical support, such as how to make an application. We do not provide scientific support or review of your any concept that you present to us. That's different than some other groups. If you're interested in seeing what has been already funded, because we're not going to fund 2 projects on the exact same topic, you can look it up in the GOLD database. And another huge consideration is impact of the research, which is different from significance. And so I have a hidden slide there to tell you that it goes beyond addressing an important problem, but overall that it provides an outcome with a powerful influence on the research field, and will make an impact over the long haul. On the next slide, you'll see key points to promote success. These first items are what Kish call the go, no-go criteria. If you don't have information about your priority populations, IRB, data monitoring, or your budget is out of whack, then it's a simple no-go. There will be no consideration beyond that. So make sure that these are addressed carefully. Common problems.
Dr. Collins? I'm
Yes.
sorry, we need to wrap you up because we're out of time.
All right, that's absolutely fine. If you can flip through and just give folks an idea, if you can go to the slide with all the boxes, I'll tell you that check boxes, number 19, that we're very interested in having nurse reviewers. Nurses are on every committee, and if you're interested, send an email to Kish or myself, and the email's on the last slide. And I thank you very much.
Thank you so very much.